and welcome back to another HellfireComms Patreon Quick Look. Today we're taking a look at Monster Hunter Stories for the Nintendo 3DS. This ain't your daddy's Monster Hunter, no, this is a bit more anime, shall we say. This was commissioned by Lokivex, and now I have Tanner with me. He'll be the guy who's doing Quick Looks as a co-com forever and ever and ever and ever. Let's do this. How you doing, mate?
I didn't know I was shackled to the Quick Look rock for the rest of my life.
Well, I had to get Richie off that thing. He could no longer be the Prometheus to my ego, you know?
You know what? Fair enough. We gotta take turns, I guess, and my turn is however many other centuries. Speaking of centuries, Monster Hunter has been around for a long time.
Oh yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it? Because I know you play some of the, mainline games. I know this was, a big thing when it was announced, because anime and RPG. This ain't hunting down monsters in a traditional fashion. I am confused and awkward about this.
Yeah, so, Monster Hunter has been around since the PS2 days, and aside from a few spin-offs starring the cats, which were mostly town-building sims and whatever, this was the first spin-off that really said, okay, we're taking the same world as Monster Hunter, but reimagining it as, in this case, they're trying to build a Pokemon-esque empire, or kind of closer to a Yokai Watch-esque one, because at the time, with the 3DS and the anime and all that, so they said, okay, we're going to make an anime, we're going to make a game, we're going to make, merchandise off of this, and the whole gimmick was, okay, instead of just fighting the monsters, you also get monsters as your little friends that you get to ride on, because this is, the Japanese name is actually Monster Hunter Stories Ride On, so...
right. Not exactly, Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee, but it was approaching that sort of whimsy, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
We're playing this on the original 3DS. I do not have a new 3DS capture unit, so expect a little bit of slowdown here and there.
Yeah, the difference for Monster Hunter games especially, I think out of all the regular DS or 3DS versus new 3DS comparisons, Monster Hunter is the one that changes the most. I know in Generations and potentially 4, the monsters actually use low-res textures on the regular, PS2 ones, but then they have redone better ones on the new 3DS, so they look very different. Similarly, in this one, you have quite a bit of downgrading for this, a bit of pop-in, bit of lower texture graphics, but it still looks really good for a 3DS game.
Yeah, I love the art style especially. Ooh, purple grass, plants. Hang on, I seem to remember this plotline happening in Hat in Time.
Yes, well thankfully there's no goats. Just kidding, there's super giant goat monsters instead.
Oh no, and a slowpoke, oh Jesus. I want to fight a giant slowpoke and pile drive it.
Man, the idea of a Pokemon cross Monster Hunter game has totally been pitched before. Both, I think, Game Freak employees as well as Capcom have talked about it, but they just can't get it done because, the killing and carving part. But it would be so cool.
Maybe you could just, tame them? You're rounding up monsters for a zoo or something, and then they just drop stuff. That removes the violence aspect.
But it's just if we could have the one with Nobunaga and the crazy Japanese warring states period, if we can have that, I don't see why we can't have Pokemonster Hunter.
Yeah. So yeah, graphically, there's a nice bit of draw distance, textures aren't too bad, but yeah, it's just the frame rate and whatnot, but whatever, I have a Paintberry, what do I care about fucking graphics and, frame rate limitations?
The coolest thing about this definitely has to be the fact that it's taking all these items that are conceptually used in action games and reworking them for, okay, how would they be used for a turn-based RPG. So, for instance, paint berries, you use them to make paintballs, which in Monster Hunter, the regular games, you use and it tracks them on the map for you, because normally monsters aren't tracked on your map. But here, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember 100%, but I think it reveals their stats instead. So it's similar idea, but done in a different system.
Uh-huh. I noticed my character has his face covered so far. Is that deliberate?
Yes, because you have not had the chance to create a hunter, and that's a big part of Monster Hunter games, is the customizing of your character, and unlike the mainline games, this one actually matters because you can see their face throughout the game. Yeah. Regular Monster Hunter games, it's the first thing you get is a big dumb helmet to cover it. Thankfully, World, they said, okay, you can put in an option to hide the helmet at least, but it's like, in the old days, it's like, what is even the point if the first thing you get is like a helmet that completely covers your face?
Yeah, it's like, oh god, he or she is so fuck ugly, just put a big, like, plate over their head, it's good enough.
Well, actually, so there's different armors for male and female hunters, and, like, the female ones almost always expose the face, because, I mean, you gotta have them kawaii girls in there. But for the guys, it's like, no, don't even worry about designing them. You won't see their face ever again.
So are these two related? They seem to both have red hair.
Nah, they're just good old childhood friends.
Okay.
You know, 3 kids born at the same time, raised in a village that's hidden in the mist, all that good stuff.
Alright, this guy seems to be naughted. It's okay, I don't judge.
Well, it's, you know, some people are born with glowing demon eyes, it's fine.
Oh my god, are these...
Sure, I'm sure he won't heel turn into a villain anytime soon.
Is this the start of Birth by Sleep? Are these the Wayfinders?
You're not even wrong.
I'm trying to glom onto anything, any shred of familiarity to get me through a subject I don't know about.
And even just, look, we're even going with, these aren't real, the pow-pow fruits, these are the things. You're super right, oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, I feel sorry for whatever's coming out of that egg. It will be traumatized by friendship the moment it enters this dark, dark world of ours.
Well, it really shouldn't wake up, because we just are using rocks. We're not using the special stones that forcibly hatch eggs, which, I mean, in real life would cause many issues with, you know, birth defects and all that, but hey.
Alright.
Hey, remember in Sonic Adventure you could hatch the chows by throwing them at a wall? That was wonderful.
Alright, gonna go with boy. Let's see. Face type. Pointed.
So this here, his default name in the Japanese version, which uses the default design here, his name is Loot.
Oh. Got some varied skin tones. Where's the one that makes him look almost pinkish? Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, just a nice little bit of tan. You need it.
Let's see.
You got every type of eye from every type of anime.
I want to be naughted as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Slender lips.
Some of these mouths, it's like they look good from one angle, but as soon as you slightly turn them, it looks weird.
I want Xehanort hair. Can we get Xehanort hair?
Oh, I think there is.
Oh!
Yeah!
There we go. Oh, come on, white. Yeah, there it is!
Look how perfect he is.
Oh, no, go back.
We got makeup too, if you wanna give him a character trait.
Let's have a look here. Yeah.
It's weird, because cat whiskers in some games, I look at that and I'm like, I will never use that. That looks so bad. But then I look at it in some games and I'm like, no, that's the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Antenna. That's what my heart craves.
That's our fusion form.
Oh, yes. Speaking of, Dragon Ball Fusion's 2 fucking when? Please, give it to me.
Wait, wasn't that a thing? Fusions too? No? Huh.
Not yet, no.
You know what? In a post-Broly movie world, they'll have a lot more to go off of.
Oh my god. Oh, you're right. I want more content, just give it to me. Just plug it into my system. Can we get, like, Attack of the Saiyans too? That'd be nice.
I think that one did come out. I think that one does exist, but it was Japan only.
Motherfucker. Oh, it's happening. We have results.
It's gonna be a gold chow.
A chaos dinosaur. It's okay, it didn't happen anyway, so all our dreams are dashed. It's happening!
I will say, it's kind of weird that the one egg there has a very different design than the others.
Oh, yes. Oh. Oh.
It's a Smash Brothers boss!
Oh, Jesus. I imagine if just like an assist trophy came out and then this thing came out of that.
Oh man, there's probably gonna totally be a Monster Hunter Stories trophy in Smash.
It's adorable. It's a fucking baby Rathalos. Aw, he's very marketable. We could like sell his armor and such.
You know, it's weird, because he is the Pikachu for Monster Hunter, but, like, design-wise, he's just, like, a red dragon, but yeah, like, they do really market him well.
Aw, he likes me.
It's a shame whenever he brushes up against me, my skin gets totally cut up.
Oh, is that, like, a thing, part of the lore?
Well, it's scaly. Look at, like, that, you can't tell me that looks soft, right?
I don't know. Chaff could tell us a thing or two about scalers.
Oof.
Yes. Woof.
Oof. Let's hold the R button and run away from this conversation.
Indeed. Right. Rather the Rathalos use the R button to run away.
Or if you're playing the Japanese version, it's Leo, the Leoleus, because they changed the name of every monster.
I'm ashamed to say I thought it was going to be Rathalos.
No, sadly not. No, I actually really like the name Rathalos way more than Leoleus. It sounds way cooler.
It sounds dangerous, like, children, don't go to the mountains, you'll see the Rathalos.
Yeah, it has there's for every Monster Hunter, I think since 3, they put up the localization blogs where they talk about, here's why we named this monster what we did, and they go into like, well, if you look at this word in French, it means this, and then it also has this sound, and like, they really go into why they're named what they are, and it's really cool.
Oh boy. We're getting Ocarina of Time N64 levels of frames here, but I'm not going to complain too much. I'm just going to look around. Select story quests in the camp menu to review what's happening in your adventure so far. You can also get hints on what to do next. Very nice.
It's a fairly basic RPG with talk to people. If they have a big dumb talk bubble above their head, it means they got a quest for you, so you got to talk to them and they'll tell you what to do. You can take as many quests as you want, and it's standard, but in a good way, you know? Makes you feel good playing it. Sometimes I'm just like, I just want an RPG.
Yeah, I just want a bit of, like, cute, charming lore in my life, you know? I know this red-headed dude has a mum, and I want to see her before a certain point, but, who knows? Maybe we'll be railroaded a little bit first.
I think she is in the village just chilling out, and you'll get to, maybe go talk to her.
Oh god, he is big and he is mad. Not pointing, though.
Yes, and he does have an amiibo, which is astonishing for a fairly minor character. There she is.
I'm sorry, Wolf. I'm sorry. I won't ever almost get killed by a dinosaur again, and then immediately almost gets killed by a dinosaur again.
She has like a little like bird pendant, and I love and know Monster Hunter, and I have no idea what it's meant to be. Like, it's not a monster, it's just like a bird.
Well, they couldn't very well call it Bird Hunter, could they?
There are bird monsters, and some of them are pretty horrible. There's one that, like, toots like a trumpet, and he can just summon random monsters, including one called the World Eater, who is a giant demon pickle.
Well, alright then. What the fresh hell are you?
Okay, so there's races of people in Monster Hunter. They kind of combine elves and dwarves a bit. So they're like short, pointy-eared people. They're called the Wyverians. They're weird because they're short for like the first 900 years of their life, because of course they're super immortal. But then once they're like old, they grow to be huge. It's weird. Monster Hunter has a few weird races for sure. But yeah, the Wyverians here.
Okay. Is the kinship stone the thing Dad, Dan. Thank you. Sorry, I had to get my vocal warm exercises there. Does he have one of those on his wrist, a kinship stone?
Yeah, so it's the thing that looks almost like the Triforce, like, but on a stone, so it's like a little blue stone and it pops open, and that's where they have their... It's like their Ranger Morpher sort of thing. You'll see it when they use it.
Huh. Is there a monster coming? Perhaps a CGI cutscene? Let's watch and find out.
Shoutouts to the Monster Hunter CGI team being the best team for CGI. They do incredible stuff. All the openings for Monster Hunter, and they even do ecology videos. So it'll just be an FMV of a monster in its habitat, like a 2-minute FMV of how it lives. They're so good.
Kind of reminds me of the Shadow Dragon on the front of the Blue Dragon box, though.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Well, this guy here is Narga Kouga, and he's the cover monster of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which is the PSP and possibly what people said was the best one for a long time.
Wow, these models are really good.
And they're speaking not a real language.
Yeah, well, the PSP is about to finally have its revenge on the DS line of consoles.
I mean, he's a very not happy boy.
Wasn't she, like, just down here a second ago?
Yeah, she went up to make donuts, because that's what she do, I guess. That's not even a joke. That's the reason she went back, was to make donuts. That becomes a plot point in the anime, which we'll talk about in just a second here, because we'll talk about some pacing.
Yeah, now she's a donut instead. Maybe we should run? We don't have any dinosaurs to protect us.
So, yeah, this is about episode 12 of the anime right here. The entire first season has the characters introduced, and you get to learn about life in the village. You get to see him training with the little baby Rathalos. It's kind of weird, because I think the anime came out first. Actually, I know it did. So a lot of people were able to watch it, and then they come back to this, and they're like, oh, this is happening already. Okay.
Oh no! I forgot I have wings!
Well, they said he's a little baby who literally can't fly yet.
Oh.
I mean, having a mother who doesn't, fly, in this case being N. Tanner, wouldn't help.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I wasn't born with wings. What can I say? And the fart gas goes with him, because of course it does.
The weird thing is the idea of a dark evil mist was literally done in the game before this one, but it was a separate dark evil mist. So it's like, why couldn't they just maybe tie it together and make it the same? Or, I don't know, it's a bit weird.
I never got one of those jelly cream donuts. Damn you! Wow, yeah, you're not wrong about the pacing being completely different in the game. I think this works better for a game, perhaps.
Yeah, because, I mean, you get to see... So here's where he goes on his path of darkness, does the whole Riku thing, yada yada yada. In the anime, you get to see 12 episodes of them being just the best friends and just, like, hanging out. And you even see that, like, Lute doesn't have his parents, so he, even your character, the main character, is, like, almost feels like his mom is, like, the main character's mom, and, like, it really goes into it. And here it's just, like, introduced, 2 lines of dialogue, dead.
Yeah, it's kind of comical, really. I do like how, when they don't want to render characters fully in the distance, they're just shadow people.
Yeah, I always like that, actually, because it still shows them, but it's like, I mean, if you see someone in distance, you can't tell who they are. So it's fine.
I have no options right now.
Oh, you have options, but you have no other menu options.
Because I did download all the DLC just before we started, but alas, nothing.
A lot of it will be, when you get to, onto the quest board later, it'll be like, they'll say like, villager quests, main story quests, and then a big old button that says DLC quests, so you get to do them here.
Okay.
But I think half of them are going to be very early game, like beat this and get a big prize package for starting the game, and then the other half are, for after you beat the main game, here's the super boss challenges.
Okay.
So, it's usually how they do it. They release the game, and then they will release in the first couple months, like a couple of, here's a few beginner quests, and then by the end it's like, okay, you should have beat the game by now, and here are the super tough challenges we had to wait, to lock for you, because you won't be ready for them.
Yeah. What would be amazing is, like, if for this they made some super bosses which were like a gigantic Goomba, or Yoshi, or even Bowser.
There is one crossover monster in this game, and that is Epona.
Oh,
just a giant horse that you have to fight and tame, and then get to ride on.
Okay, that's cool, I guess.
It's well, I mean, like, it's not just a generic horse, like, it is literally, like, the model from Ocarina of Time 3DS, which is cool, but it's like, you look at it, and it's like, it's just a horse, but it functions like a regular monster in the game, and actually, when you do the super move with it, it basically does like this huge cinematic thing where he like lifts the Master Sword up and does like the cover art. It's really cool, but we definitely won't be getting to that because it's I think a mid-game thing.
Yeah. I know a point where we can cut off here, and it's not for a while, so we will get to enjoy the fineries of combat and such.
Yeah, there's also some cool stuff where if you have any save data from the previous Monster Hunter games, you actually get items to start the game off. So cool. If you have Monster Hunter Generations, you actually get an armor set for your little cat buddy, which we'll get to later, based on one of the armor sets from that game. So you can start it off giving him some armor there. So there's some neat stuff with that, and it's I was blown away when I connected my 3DS save data to my Switch for Monster Hunter Generations on Switch, and it was able to say, okay, you're connecting your data, which was connected to Monster Hunter Stories, now to the Switch. So now I turned on my Switch, and it said, red 3DS save data, here's your bonuses for playing this game, and I'm like, what? It totally synced across, like, 3 systems.
I like stuff like that where you can get things earlier. I don't like when it's, like, completely locked out. Like, for example, I'm not sure which way this went, but in Mario Kart Wii, if you had played Galaxy, you would unlock Rosalina. Yeah,
you don't have to do, I think, one of the courses, and then you get Rosalina early there. But you could get her through doing, I think, like, every mission or something like this. So, there's 2 ways to get it, but if you have it, it's easier. I don't mind when you need another game for it. The only reason I don't mind it is if the game isn't good. Like, if it's a good game, it's like, yeah, awesome, I'll get that. But if it's a bad one, it's like, oh, I guess.
I mean, like, we're all hypocrites like that, let's be honest. If something's good, we can look past a lot of things.
God, I remember beating, Sonic Forces, or Sonic Boom on 3DS to connect it to my Wii U version of Sonic Boom, and I'm like, I did it, so now we can show it off in my Let's Play of it, and I did it, I'm like, oh, this was the most needless thing.
The most needless thing. I'm gonna do a little dance now. Totally not Japanese.
Yeah, I love when one of my favorite tropes is when you're playing something so ridiculously Japanese with huge, like, for example, here, Shinto influences, and then they just play it off as a completely normal American thing when it comes out. It's like, I love it, because it's just like, they're like, who are you trying to fool? Like, I remember back when I watched Pokemon, it was like, there was an episode where they were in kimonos and dancing to, like, enka music, and it's like acting completely normal, like this is just a normal thing, and I'm like, what?
Practice your jutsus, Apollo. Really? You're getting pwned by an egg? The embarrassment of it all.
This egg is not just any egg. It's a blue egg.
Yeah.
We get introduced to this game's possibly most divisive character for pretty much just his design. And it's because, boy, when this guy was announced, they're ruining the cats for Monster Hunter. But then it's revealed that, no, the cats in this game look the same as every other Monster Hunter. This dude is just a freak.
Oh. He's cute. I love him.
He has the ugly cute that I know I like, and I know Japan really likes, but when this guy was revealed, they're like, this dude is the ugliest thing, he's ruining Monster Hunter, I am a fan since the PS2 days, and blah blah blah, you know, so that's what they were like, but no, I love this little dude, he's actually great.
It's kind of weird, like, when characters are done talking in these scenes, everything freezes.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. I think it's because of how the the text works, because of course there's less text in the Japanese version, so it would probably even just go on its own in Japanese, you know?
No. Alright, we're in for a lot of puns here.
Oh my god, Monster Hunter is pun central. Like, the text in regular Monster Hunter games is super lighthearted and is full of just, like, dumb references and memes and puns, but like when you have a full story here, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get that even more. There was a character in Monster Hunter Generations who literally said, there's a thing where it's like, hey, do you want some advice on how to beat this monster? And you can say yes, and she just says, get good.
Wow. I love that.
I'm like, yes!
The Pawsome Paragon of Feline Kind, but you look like a goddamn Tamagotchi character.
Yeah, no, he's just a weird cat with apparently story reasons why he looked weird, but I never got that far. Voiced by a very famous Japanese voice actress in the Japanese version. But this character's name is Navirou, but originally in Animal Crossing, you would be able to scan in the amiibo for Monster Hunter, and you would get him in your house. And he was called Navirou, so they actually changed his name mid-development, so it's like, you can go back and see his prototype name, and I love that stuff.
Yeah. I navigated all around the world, and I've learned lots of useful things. Ergo, I am now Mappy, the mapping feline.
Yeah, he's, you know, your character isn't very talkative, so when you need to talk, he does the talking for you.
Fair dues.
So yeah, in the anime, Navirou is there from day one. Like, they've been friends for a long time. That is one difference, where it's here we're getting introduced to him after the big tragedy, but you get, like, him right away with no explanation.
I think, yeah, I prefer the game version, then.
Yeah, there's changes between them. And I guess I should say, for those of you who don't know, the anime is actually done by David Productions, and they put the work in. There's some good shots in there. Interestingly, they actually use the game models for the monsters, but, like, of course, not on 3DS, so they're not compressed, and they look really good, actually, having the 3D monsters there, because they have that shading on them, which already looks kind of 2D. The only problem is, of course, they run at the, the 3D anime frame rate, if you know what I mean, which bothers some people, but I've grown to be fine with.
Select egg fragments to assemble eggs and hatch new monsters. I'm not sure that's how eggs work.
Yeah, no, you can combine many egg fragments to make something, and it's not an abomination, so with this, what you want to do is, when you tap it, there's certain areas where it's like, if you get a good tap, you get bonus stats, but, like, it's so random, it's like, yeah, mashing the A button's totally fine.
I really appreciate that they give you the option to either touch it or press the button, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to take out that stylus there.
I'm going to keep him just named as is, just so we don't get any confusion along the way.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a Velocidrome. So he is, the Velocidromes are pretty much your go-to starter monster, and if it's not a Velocidrome, it is a Velocidrome clone. They're pretty much just raptors. No big change with them other than the fact that they are nice and blue.
Yeah.
With a like, their color scheme, I love it. The blue with the orange crest, it's really cool. Famously fought Naked Snake in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Huh?
Yes, there was a crossover campaign that went both ways. So in Peace Walker, Snake can go to an island and fight Velocidromes, Rathalos, Tigrex, and a Monster Hunter version of Metal Gear Rex.
Oh.
It's so cool. And then on the other hand, you were able to get Big Boss and The Boss armor in Monster Hunter. So I love the crossovers from Monster Hunter. They're so dumb. They're the best.
Video games are just cool sometimes.
They just, I love it. It's just like, yeah, these characters, like, when Snake and Isabelle are going to be fighting Rathalos in Smash Bros., it's going to be their second time.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
Isabelle was playable in Monster Hunter Generations. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy. I love it.
Alright, let's have a look inside my little, actually, it's a pretty nice hut. I was going to call it a shanty of sorts, but no.
Yeah, go talk to the little cat out in front, too. I think he might have some stuff for you. No, the other one. Or maybe him. Talk to him, too. Okay, that is the... I think this dude might be the Wi-Fi cat. He might give you your DLC items. No, it's the same as the regular menu.
Oh, okay, well, I have no use for you. No.
You don't have the Monster Hunter amiibo that stayed in Japan but totally work in the West?
Why? Why?
Gotta import them, bro. I mean, I did. I love them. They're actually probably my favorite amiibo because the riders are actually a separate thing that you can take off, and you can interchange the riders onto the different monsters.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, this game, you can recustomize your character, and actually they added in for New Game Plus, you can just totally change your character model to another character model.
Okay, so we got cutscenes so far. Appearance.
Which you can rewatch with different appearances too.
Change armor color.
Yeah, so you actually get to choose your primary armor colors, and for every armor you equip, it will use those colors.
Okay. Ooh, a nice green color. And to complement it, well,
I'm gonna be shirt green and blue. Okay, those normally don't go together, but it's okay. The color theorists out there are gonna be very angry, but hey, that's fine. They usually are.
I have a Velocodrome plushie!
Oh my god, you totally do.
What colours do you want, mate? Well, I don't want to use...
No, it's fine. Honestly, I usually am super edgy and pick red and black because I'm horrible.
Yeah, well, I got white hair, I got yellow eyes, and I got green and blue clothes. I'm a fucking disaster. The dinosaurs won't know what hit 'em.
You're like the 16th color palette for a fighting game character.
What a perfectly apt way of describing a fashion disaster. No one's picking that. They're going for, like, the dark one, or the really interesting colour that you have to put quotation marks around.
The first 4 are usually the good colors, and then you get a few that are a bit weird, and then once you get to the end, it's like they're just some programmers hitting the random button till he gets one that he's like, that's fine.
Yeah, basically. Don't sweat the small details, let's go! Oh god, is this like a dub thing where you just keep saying awesome?
So weirdly, he doesn't do that in the anime. That was a thing for this game. Just like the Elder with his rhyming, not in the anime dub, but it's like here. So I mean, I guess there's a few discrepancies between characters in the show and characters in the game. But then again, that's no different from like Pokemon, because like I remember the difference between Whitney, the gym leader of the normal type town in Pokemon Gold and Silver, the difference between her in the anime and the game is astonishing. So
just looking around, seeing what I've got here.
You start with a big dumb gut sword, because why not? That's what all kids need to use, is these giant swords bigger than them.
Let's see, I am a novice. Greetings.
Oh, see if you can change your scene, which is, it changes your background there, because I think there might be a few neat ones.
Hodry Hills, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, see if there's any... Okay, so I think there's some that are here that are going to be some of the DLC ones we downloaded.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's from Monster Hunter Generations, The Dance Together. Puzzles and Dragons is a another game series altogether.
Yeah, hey look, it's the Gen 8 starters.
You're not wrong. Capcom TV, Famitsu, all these... Yeah, Umaru-chan! I hate that show!
Oh, you know you gotta do it to him.
So yeah, they actually have poses too, so like if you have the Zelda one, you can then use a Zelda pose for your character. There's some neat stuff with your, with the cards there, and every Monster Hunter game does that, where it's like, okay, so we have a DLC from... for example, Fire Emblem. Okay, so not only do you get the Fire Emblem armor, you'll be able to use a Fire Emblem background on your card and have them use, like, Marth's amiibo pose as your character pose.
Okay.
Like, they usually, they bring it in as, like, a pack there, which leads to some, again, like, funny stuff when you are going through Generations and you're like, oh, what backgrounds do I have? And it's like, oh, here's one of, like, the playmat from Yu-Gi-Oh! And here's, like, a Dark Magician pose. And you're like, okay, sure, why not?
Well, I mean, Navirou was throwing out like fucking, don't worry, I'm just gonna take your food right in front of you. Here we go. I just like sneak into him.
These dudes are literally the most like, you kill one of them and the other ones just slowly walk away. They really don't. These guys would not survive in the real world food chain.
It's like Ted made his choice when he went to snuff down that grass, okay? Bill, Chuck, and Finn, yeah, we're out of here.
So yes, the combat is a fairly basic sort of rock, paper, scissors system. The changes to it are that you you always have 2 characters on your side. So you, which you get to command, but as well as your monster, who actually will use moves that it favors. As you go on, you'll be able to train it to use smarter moves, but for the start, it just uses moves that it likes.
Yeah! Well, I did some damage, I guess. This system is actually the same as in Dragon Ball Fusions, I believe, where you have power, speed, and technique.
So yeah, you want to go, and I really like how they're colored just red, blue, and green, so you can just think of them like elemental attacks, even though there are elements to this also, which you get into later. But for the most part, like, when you're starting off the game, the monster's element doesn't matter super much, but then the late game gets into it quite a bit.
Alright, so speed beats power, power beats tech, and tech beats speed. Booyah! Good job we didn't need to, like, up our strength to be able to carry that behemoth of a sword.
So, one thing that's actually in the Monster Hunter lore is that every hunter is a descendant of a super race. So there are regular humans, and hunters are a separate people. It's sort of like the difference between Hylians and humans in Zelda, you know, but instead of spiky ears, they have just tremendous strength.
I got you. It's an easy way to just, like, hand wave away stupid things that nerds like me will pick up on.
Yeah, because there's moments in Monster Hunter where you jump off stuff that would destroy a person, and it's like, no, they just land. You don't take damage.
Alright, this would be a good time to grab a herb from your items in the camp menu. Okay, just heal, idiot.
Yeah, take some of that good herb.
Yeah. Dang kush. I'm just squatting here, ready to snuff some shit down. Let's have a look here. Use herb. Yeah. There's an N and a T there. Don't know quite what it's trying to tell me, but I will follow the path regardless.
So the main elements for Monster Hunter, there's actually 5 elements in total. They don't really have matchup against each other. Instead, it's just every monster has like certain amount of weakness to each of these.
Okay.
So it's fire element, water element, thunder element, ice element, and dragon element.
Well, I'm not trying to like downplay what you just said, but was there a scuffle in the background?
There might have been.
Just like enemies fighting on the field. That's kind of neat.
I think that might be how they spawn in, actually.
Oh, okay.
Like, you just see a scuffle in the distance and then a monster appears.
Okay, so Navirou's informing me that he uses speed attacks, so I have to use technique in order to fire.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. As it goes on later, though, you get stuff where it's like, okay, you can use a non-elemental attack, which then goes into, okay, how does this affect it? Or monsters will have patterns where, like, they go, green, green, blue, green, green, blue. But if you delay their turn with something, how will that affect their pattern? So there is depth to it, but the start is very much just, is this guy blue? Use green.
If he was green, he would die. Very good, very good. I noticed that little symbol on the bottom is filling up as time goes on.
Yes, that is your ride on gauge. So for a series or for a game that's, touts about riding on, you're not really doing much of it right now. And the reason why is because you need to fill up your gauge to get the power to ride on and combine. Fuse your hearts together in glorious harmony.
Oh god, it's like a G-rated Dragon God.
You're not really wrong.
Did I just blow your mind there?
A little bit.
I'm enjoying this so far. It's like pretty basic, but it doesn't feel as like... How can I describe this? Like I'm walking through, say, a field of oatmeal, as it can oftentimes be in these like RPG beginnings.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, the beginning of an RPG will make it or break it for people. And I do think this one moves at a brisk enough pace where it's like, yeah, kids would be able to play this and not be completely overwhelmed. But, like, people who play a lot of RPGs will be like, okay, this is not going as slow as it can.
Yeah.
God, there's some RPGs, it's just like, oh my god.
The tone helps, the graphical style helps, just how snappy the combat is helps. I think Pokemon would probably do this a little bit less. Oh, by the way, if Pokemon Gen 8 doesn't look at least this like good and expansive, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed because it's on Switch now, and it better not fucking look like goddamn Let's Go Pikachu.
So yeah, these dudes are just kind of folly creatures. You can't really... In regular Monster Hunter games, you can... So the weird thing is, in the Japanese versions, you can kill those guys, but in the Western versions, you can't. Those goats are... You knock them out, and then they run away. And they said, yeah, we got into, like, a legal thing with a company saying, like, you shouldn't be able to kill goats. And, like, there was some big backlash from some goat company. So they're like, yeah, in the Western versions, we can't do that. So instead you hit them, and then they get knocked out, and then they get back up, and they run away. Funnily enough, you still, like, skin them, and you still take their horns, but now they're running away.
Yeah, okay, so we have a battle pouch, we're gonna put stuff into it, gonna put the herbs into the battle pouch, and I think...
Yeah, you gotta be careful, because I think with the menu here, it's very easy to accidentally not equip it. Like, there's a bit of a... There's a weird bit of, like, do you want to not use this? And you hit yes. Yeah, overwrite previous ones, you want to say yes, that's the difference. It's a bit weird. Alright,
here's my next victim. Shasha!
So this is not a Velocidrome, which you have. This is a Velociprey. So this is kind of like the baby versions of them, or the lesser ones. They don't have the really big crest, and they don't have the long orange claws. They just have regular ones.
Okay.
So you're fighting basically the lower class version of what you have.
Damn, that was some good shit. Okay, just smash through menus again. Let's do this!
So yeah, like your monster will do on its own status ailment stuff, which is good, because I never use status ailment stuff, even though I should. So it's kind of nice that they do it for you.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more sturdy, but now we have a head-to-head attack, and you just took my kill. Thanks.
Doesn't even matter. I really love all the touches for the UI for, Monster Hunter stuff. So seeing the big quest cleared when you beat stuff, all the sounds, it's all right for Monster Hunter. So again, like the idea of recontextualizing it is so good.
The tribal feel is very endearing, I have to say.
Yeah, Monster Hunter up until World was very, like, it really dug into the idea of the tribal for all of its menus and stuff. And it does it really well, in my opinion. There's some lore stuff that every bit of, like, tattoo-looking design, like, there is lore to it that you can read into.
Mm-hmm. This guy was just making a beeline for us, so, yes, I know I just picked up honeycomb, don't read too much into it. God, the words were coming out of my mouth, and I already knew I'd made a mistake.
So, no, yeah, so the monsters in general will go and attack you because they see you as, food on the food chain. But it's funny, as you get stronger and stronger, you eventually get to the super high-level monsters, the Elder Dragons, or like the legendary Pokemon, if you will. And they'll just be out and about, and they naturally won't attack you, because they look at you the same way, like we look at cats. They're like, you can't hurt me.
Aww.
They're curious about you. They'll look at you and just chill, because they know, they're like, you're just a human, you can't do anything, I'm a literal god on Earth. And then you attack them and they're like, boy, you made a big mistake.
Well, I want to correct you there. Cats can and will hurt you if you disrespect them.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, but I mean just like the idea of looking at it and just saying like, you're not I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you. It's dead now.
First thing that came to mind, it's dead, we killed it, we're getting stronger every day.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to like at least level up before we go up to the boss, I think, in the cave. Wow, Velocidrome, calm it down.
Yeah, the monsters do level up quicker than you do, and once you get a whole party of them, they will level up quite quickly. Now, they do have level caps, so you can't take one of these really weak guys all the way up to endgame, which for some people makes them sad, but at the same time, it's like, why?
Yeah. I've noticed the level up gives us a full heal, as it should.
Oh, that is the best thing in RPGs. I mean, it makes no sense in universe, but it just, like, it's so nice to have.
Well, I mean, like, in Paper Mario, you look forward to those level ups, because they do give you a full heal.
Alright, let's head on into this cave here. Caving is a big part of this game. Once you get to a later part of the game, the way you get eggs is you actually find monster dens out in the world, and you'll have to go through a mini dungeon, where at the end you will get a random egg that you will have to then run out of there with. Well, you know, the mom is chasing you.
Hello, little piggy. What are you doing in here?
It's the Poogies. Poogies are another sort of mascot character for Monster Hunter. They are always in the hub world of Monster Hunter, and you can go up to them, you can pet them, you can play with them, you can dress them up. They don't do anything.
Oh.
But you want to.
You want to?
It's one of those things where it's like, you know, back in the day, they're like, oh, when you're catching a Pokemon, press B and hold down for 3, 1, 2, 3, and you'll catch it, right? So there's like, there was rumors where it's like, if you pet a Poogie 3 times before every monster hunt, you will get good RNG.
What are these things? I saw one of them trying to, like, run me over, Sonic the Hedgehog style.
Yeah, these dudes are Conchus, and hey, you got a sneak attack, so he's backwards. Conchus are the worst. They are horrible in regular Monster Hunter. They're basically just little, like, crab shell things that they roll up and stuff, and they will, while you are fighting, just roll up into a ball and dash at you at full speed, interrupting your combos. They're not a threat for damage, they're a threat for, I was charging up my big move and you hit me out of it.
Yeah.
They will also jump onto large monsters and just become armor, which is, like, annoying, because their shell is impenetrable. Unless you have super high rank skills in regular Monster Hunter, at least, where it's like, you'll never bounce off stuff, you will always bounce your weapon off of them, which is super annoying.
I mean, it's interesting to have, like, these two wild things, co-op and try to take you down, but a little bit weird, I would admit.
A little bit. There's pictures of, like, I think it was a Velocidrome with, like, 4 of them on it, and it was basically an impenetrable mecha Velocidrome, and it was kind of cool, but looking at it, I was like, I would just end the mission. It's not worth it.
Yep. It seems we've reached our destination, so we're just going to grab the thing, we're going to power it up, and then we're going to walk out of here with no distractions or impediments whatsoever.
I'm sure everything will go just fine.
Yes, indeed. Oh, give me that luscious cutscene. Here we go.
I love how they animated smears for Navirou in 3D. That's, like, my favorite thing. When you have people who do cutscenes, and it's like, yeah, it's a 3D cutscene, but then they use 2D animation techniques to make it look good.
Also, he JoJo poses all the time, and I'm totally down for that. Speaking of David Productions, by the way, Part 5 it's in motion, baby! Okay,
there was a JoJo crossover in one of the Monster Hunters, and you would get a hammer that was Crazy Diamond, with a big amount of text behind him, like it's his spaghetti pose, you know, the spaghetti pose, with text on it, and it was a hammer that if you hit your partners with, it would heal them.
I love that. Right on. Oh, so how you feeling about Part 5 so far, mate?
You know, it's looking to be the best version of Part 5.
Well, you're not wrong.
Super love it when I read it, because I read half of it with the good translation, and then I got caught up to where the bad translation was still happening, and oof, that bad translation is bad. And it literally gets to the page explaining a certain stand's power, and it says, it just works. And I'm like, really? We're just not going to explain it? Okay, it's a bad translation.
If I had, like, one problem with episode 1 of the Part 5 anime, maybe it was, like, a little bit too talky, but it's episode 1. You do have to, like, establish stuff, so next week we get the OP done by Coda of Neon Genesis Evangelion theme fame, and apparently, like, they haven't collabed in 23 years, so I'm a little bit hyped for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to hear Gangsta's Paradise as the ending song. It better be. It better be. By the time this goes up, it'll probably be, people will be like, no, it's not. And I'm like, but it will be in my heart.
There's some add-on on, like, an A thread I was reading, JoJo thread, obviously, said it was like, Come On Eileen, but never posted the source, and that spread like wildfire, but it's not Come On Eileen.
If anything, that'd be the Part 6 one.
Yeah, that'd be cool, actually. Alright, let's get our minds off JoJo and back into this thing.
this big dude, Narga Kouga. So this dude actually, when they were doing the motion data for this guy, they basically took one of the producer's cats, attached the motion trackers to it, and they just recorded the cat playing with a fish. And that was like a toy fish. That is the motions for this.
I mean, I can see it just by looking at him.
They actually do a lot of really cool stuff with getting real-world animals in on their inspirations.
Tech big speed. Huzzah!
So you do still take damage if you get a good matchup, but it's way less damage for sure.
Mm-hmm. Spike bomb? I'm not really sure I like the sound of that, Tanner.
Yeah, so his tail has, like, spikes on it that he can whip around, and he can even, like, whip his tail into the ground, and it sticks there, and he can use it like a slingshot almost. It's kind of cool.
Ooh.
Narga Kouga is a lot of people's favorite design for Monster. Also, it also really helps that the design for the female armor for this monster is, it is, there's a lot of fan art. A lot of fan art.
Yeah, I should really be paying attention to what he's using. Oh, saddle up time!
So this is, you get to literally combine your powers.
Yeah!
Your HP will go together, your attack will go up. You pretty much always want to try and do this, but the big thing is you want to try and keep doing, you want to keep winning 3 head-to-head attacks, and if you do that, you can use your level 3 super.
Okay. This instantly reminds me of, World of Final Fantasy, where you can, like, stack up and all your HP combines.
Yeah.
Alright, let's be smart now. Technical beats speed.
You're gonna get them. So if you, eventually, if you lose the head-to-heads, you will fall off and go out of this form.
Yeah.
But you want to try and get the level 3 for the big cinematic super, which range from just being, like, a good hit to being a super hilarious, like, dumb, like, launch an enemy to the moon and have your monster salute, like, sort of, like, it's great. There's some good ones there.
You know what a kinship skill is, buddy? Let's have a look!
Leave the voice acting me, bud.
Okay, fair dues. I'm sorry, Maddie Blaustein. I was besmirching your legacy from beyond the grave.
I love his little Oendon pose. It's so great. It's so Japanese, but don't let the kids know.
Why won't they make a new Oendan game?
Potentially copyright. Potentially because music rhythm games don't sell super well, which sucks. But hey, it's not dead. Nintendo just redid the Elite Beat Agents copyright.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. Yeah, you skulk away. It's not dead, but its tail is between its legs right now. So basically, we win just in terms of like style and whatnot.
Yeah, so we've cleared our quest, and we get the big quest clear, which is awesome, and you can even buy in Japan, like, a stamp for the quest clear, and you can, like, stamp it on paper, and I'm gonna be real, I'm really tempted to get that, and, like, stamp it on students' homework when they get it done.
Oh, God. Well, I thought of a lewder one than that, but let's just leave it there.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say it involves stamping it on someone's forehead.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's roughly about what I wanted to show off in this quick look. Spoilers, we had done this before, I'm not going to lie to you, so I knew what was coming, but it was nice to revisit this, and honestly I think this version of the quick look went a lot more smoothly than the last one, and it was a bit more in-depth, so you got the better of the outcomes here.
Yeah, for sure.
The next day.
72 hours remain? No.
Yeah. Final boss, the moon.
Well, yeah, no, so Monster Hunter Stories is definitely, in my eyes, one of the better spin-offs for, like, that any sort of long-running series has done. It didn't reach the numbers Capcom wanted, but you know what? Hey, they got World after this, which is, like, the #1 game on Steam, even after being banned in China.
Wow.
So it's, like, it's still doing really good, so the series will definitely be around for a while.
Yeah, and so it should be, because it's got, like, a very basic, like, conceit. You go around, you hunt monsters, sometimes even with buddies, and really, if they just keep introducing new monsters and locations, that can go on forever.
No, for sure, and especially when you get more crossover stuff going on, and yeah, it's such a just nice feel-good series. I mean, for something about brutally killing everything in an environment, but hey, that's how it is sometimes.
In this bitch of a Monster Hunter world. Okay, we're going to Dan, but actually I'm going to bed. Not like IRL, but just to like save and heal up and whatnot.
Man, that's something that got a lot of people mad, is that in Monster Hunter World, you no longer go to your bed to save, because people loved the fact that to save in the game, your character will go to their bed and just fling their body on it and pass out, and it's like saving the game. People love that, so when they got rid of that, there was people, so they actually patched back in the ability to go to bed.
Wow.
That's how important it was.
Right, female companion, what do you have to say?
She's actually, she does have her own character arc, which is pretty good. I was surprised, because, you know, you look at her and you're like, you're just gonna be the female childhood friend, but no, she really comes into her own and has her own dream, which is nice for a game like this.
It's always nice when they subvert expectations and they're done well, you know? Special Agent Mittens, Sam for short. Yeah, let's leave the nicknames up to the cat, shall we?
Well, but that's not even, like, his nickname. Like, he just says, that's my name, because I don't know my name, so I guess I'm now Navirou, whatever.
God, they're
just
fucking...
pick it now.
They're gaslighting him. Leave the poor guy alone.
No, he gets really, like, destroyed by people in the anime, because every time there's something on screen, it's always, like, setting him on fire, or, like, killing him, or he'll drink a juice that's, like, secretly poisoned. He's the butt monkey.
Fair dues, I suppose. Right, ignoring you, going straight to bed. This is basically how I live my everyday life.
Big naps. Gotta have them.
You gotta have big boy naps. You know, it's a long life. I don't care if you're sleeping through most of it. That's just how it is. Your body needs energy. Yeah.
And the best part is, that sleeping animation is literally ripped from every Monster Hunter game since the PS2 game.
Oh man, that was, oof. Had better naps, but I'm fully charged for some reason. God is cruel in this world. Alright guys, this was Monster Hunter Stories for the Nintendo 3DS. Once again, thank you to Loki Rex for commissioning this. Here's everyone who's currently pledged. Thank you, Tanner, for becoming the eternal Quick Look butt monkey. I hope you enjoy what's on offer, and what's coming up, even.
Ah, the chains! They're bringing me back to the rock!
Oh, no! Oh, here comes the end, Tom Eagle! Caw-caw! Caw-caw! Liver! Ad revenue! And on that note, we'll see you next time for another HellfireComms Patreon Quick Look. Bye-bye.
Ciao.